So it looked like Jemele Hill has called Caitlin Clark a racist after new footage surfaced of the Rhyne Howard exchange. Jemele Hill called racism against Caitlin Clark. Competitors claims hatred is all made up.
Jemele Hill just took a swing at Caitlin Clark and ended up knocking herself out. In a bold move that instantly aged like unrefrigerated milk, Hill went on live TV and called Clark's response to Rhyne Howard's taunting racist. Yes, really.
What I don't like about how many of the men with these platforms are shaping the conversation is that they're reducing it to pettiness, to jealousy. They're playing on stereotypes and tropes that are said about women in general, but especially Black women. And this is a Black women-led league. And to me, that has really devalued the conversation we need to be having.
One of the most calculated, cool-headed responses in sports gets twisted into a racial controversy. And the internet, in classic fashion, is absolutely handing Hill the ratio she ordered. If you've ever wanted to watch a take implode in real time, this is your front row ticket. Hill didn't just miss the mark. She fired the dart backward and hit herself square in the credibility. If you stand with Caitlin, comment, "I stand with CC down below. Let's go."
I love this. Jemele Hill got busted, Steve. She got exposed once again. It looks like in September, Jemele sent a lengthy tweet saying Caitlin Clark doesn't get the same hate as Black women in the WNBA.
Let's rewind the footage because, unlike Hill, we actually believe in context. This all started during a heated WNBA matchup between the Indiana Fever and the Atlanta Dream. Rhyne Howard decided to play defense like she was auditioning for a UFC contract, pressuring Clark, jawing in her face, trying to rattle the most talked-about player the league has seen in years. And Caitlin? She didn't shove, she didn't scream. She calmly looked Howard in the eye and said, "I'm not scared of you." That's it. That's the whole moment. And somehow, in the magical land of Jemele Hill's hot takes, that sentence became a racial transgression worthy of national outrage.
Look, Rhyne Howard was up in her grill all game, and there's the bump, there's the physical challenge there, and some words. Some words for Clark. But if you could see, Clark has some words back, and those words, if you lip read appropriately, or it seems like from the lip readers out there, were, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not scared of you. I'm sorry."
Hill spun this moment like she was trying to qualify for the narrative Olympics. According to her logic, a white player asserting confidence in the face of pressure is, by default, racially insensitive. Because apparently, standing your ground when someone tries to intimidate you is now problematic. If your name is Caitlin Clark, that is. Meanwhile, newly released footage of the interaction, now circulating everywhere in crystal clear quality, tells the real story. Howard was the one escalating. Clark simply refused to be intimidated and carried on like the composed professional she is. No racial subtext, no coded language, just standard trash talk and elite composure. But you won't hear that from Jemele.
One person that's been definitely weighing in on this Caitlin Clark drama has been Jemele Hill. This is season 2 of Caitlin Clark and the Fever, and now we have a new Jemele Hill rant. She is one person that's been pretty vocal about everything. The Angel Reese situation, now this Rhyne Howard thing, which I thought was not a big deal whatsoever. Reported on it yesterday. She did kind of get into Caitlin Clark's head, kind of psyched her out. I believe that's why Caitlin Clark played so bad. But some new footage has emerged of the incident, and it's 4K, and it's really clear.
And let's be honest, this isn't Hill's first dance with baseless outrage. She's turned this kind of misfire into an art form. Caitlin Clark isn't just some target of the week. She's been on the Jemele Hill dartboard ever since she became the face of women's basketball. And why? Because she's talented, confident, and, here's the real crime, popular. In Jemele's world, any white athlete with a following must be problematic by default. It's not analysis, it's projection.
For people to sit up here and say Caitlin Clark is not being attacked by these WNBA players is rhetorical. They making it their business, one player on the team, every game she played, to attack her, bro. Who knows who it's going to be tomorrow for the New York Liberty? But I bet you any amount of money, somebody's going to make it their day to make sure Caitlin Clark have a very bad day in some shape, form, or fashion, bro. This isn't just people nitpicking at these WNBA players. These are real events, real situations that is happening during real-time games, bro.
What makes Hill's latest take even worse is how it conveniently ignores a very real, very obvious trend. Caitlin Clark has been the target of non-stop physical intimidation since she stepped foot in the league. Game after game, opponents treat her like she's the villain in an action movie. Elbows, body checks, trash talk. It's all part of a coordinated effort to knock her off her game. But she never retaliates. She plays through it. And somehow, when she finally claps back with a little verbal fire, she's the villain. That's not just hypocrisy. That's satire in disguise.
Caitlin Clark's muscles. Have a look at this. We notice, Caitlin, I didn't see those. I mean, you just got free tickets to the gun show. Is what just happened right here. And I did not see those last season. I didn't see those arms at Iowa. Caitlin obviously spending a lot of time in the gym during the offseason. And again, I've said it. She's going to win the MVP award this year. She looked at what she needed to do last season. And there ain't a hell of a lot that she needed to do to get a lot better. Let's be honest.
And let's talk about this pattern Hill's been writing. She's spent years building a brand off of finding racism where it doesn't exist. Every time a white player and a black player so much as look at each other the wrong way, she pulls out the racial magnifying glass like she's trying to solve the Da Vinci Code. Meanwhile, real issues, actual serious injustices, get overshadowed by her crying wolf at every heated moment that doesn't fit her worldview.
Nobody's pushing her around this year. Rhyne Howard of the Atlanta Dream. A little bit of a dust up last night in Atlanta, and Caitlin saying to her, I'm not scared of you. And Caitlin Clark apparently fearless is basically what we're looking at. And when you got arms like that, who do you need to be afraid of? There you are right there. Look at that. A little bit of bumping around. If you're a lip reader, which I'm not a great lip reader, but Caitlin Clark there saying, I'm not scared of you. And why should she be? She shouldn't be scared of anybody. She's Caitlin Clark.
It's exhausting. It's dishonest. And frankly, it's damaging. Because every time Hill throws around accusations like this with no evidence, she devalues the term racism. She turns a serious conversation into a sideshow. She makes it harder for people to listen when actual racial injustice does occur. And that's not advocacy, that's sabotage.
People are not just saying Caitlin Clark is being bullied just to say she's getting bullied. Caitlin Clark is being targeted and attacked by different players every time she walks on the court. I mean, personally, you would think with this being year 2, she wouldn't have these type of situations. And I'm here to tell you, I believe it's only going to get worse through the duration of her career and the more her popularity grows. Caitlin Clark is by far the biggest star in WNBA history. No one can even come close to how big of a star Caitlin Clark is.
Worse still is how Hill's been handling the backlash. Instead of walking it back or doing the bare minimum, like watching the footage, she's doubling down, tripling down, attacking fans, claiming no one else understands the context. Jemele, the only context we're seeing is a scoreboard and a slow-motion replay that shows Clark doing what she always does, playing smart, staying poised, and not taking the bait. If that's racism now, we're going to need a whole new dictionary.
This is going to be the new tactic to mentally talk trash to Caitlin Clark, mentally throw her off. Caitlin just got to be big enough, smart enough to not go through this trend and what these players are trying to do. I believe there is a set agenda going on against Caitlin Clark, and it's unfortunate. But when it's all said and done, everything is going to come out, guys. We're going to know everything that is happening because this right here is too freaking far, bro.
Even fans who don't normally ride for Caitlin Clark are stepping in, calling out Hill's nonsense. When a take is so off base that it unites Twitter, Reddit, and group chats across the basketball world, you've done something truly impressive, just not in the way you think. This isn't about defending Clark because she's perfect. It's about defending fairness. Because if we're going to call out racism, let's do it right, not twist it into a catch-all for things I don't like today.
How much of this do you think, though, is the marketing potential of a Caitlin Clark? Because quite frankly, this is a league that is largely, as you said, largely Black women. It's also largely LGBTQ. She's a white heterosexual woman. And so if you're trying to get white dads to go spend their money and buy season tickets, she seems like a marketing opportunity. How much of it is that?
This entire meltdown says more about Hill than it does about Clark. Jemele is so invested in her narrative that she can't accept a white athlete standing up for herself without making it racial. It's like she's trying to force every basketball game into a social justice thesis paper. But basketball isn't symbolism, it's a sport. And sometimes a player saying, "I'm not scared of you," means exactly what it sounds like.
You in Atlanta! Now, these are the fans. Now, these are fans talking to Caitlin, right? But we just had an investigation spark last week, a fan supposedly attacking Angel Reese. But listen to these Atlanta fans. Ridiculous, bro.
So here's the reality. Caitlin Clark is a target because she's dominant, not because she's disrespectful. She's poised under pressure, she delivers under duress, and yes, she talks back when someone's in her face. That's not privilege. That's called being a competitor. The fact that Hill can't see the difference? That's on her. And at this point, her credibility isn't just cracked, it's on life support.
The financial ramifications for the WNBA, what it does in terms of moving the needle for the average fan. Take a look at this. Impact on ticket prices of Caitlin Clark. And it's pretty remarkable when you look at it. The Atlanta Dream game outsold all their other upcoming home games this season combined. That doesn't seem possible. Is that possible?
Because when you manufacture outrage like this, don't be surprised when the internet responds with a highlight reel of your worst takes. And this one? It's going in the Hall of Fame. Jemele Hill just handed Caitlin Clark another W, without Clark even needing to break a sweat. Jemele Hill tossing around racism accusations like she's handing out coupons at a grocery store isn't helping anybody. In fact, it's making it a whole lot worse. Because when someone with her reach starts swinging the racism card over a routine trash talk exchange between two elite athletes, she's not raising awareness. She's setting the conversation on fire and tossing it into a ditch. Her boy who cried wolf approach doesn't just make her look out of touch, it actually sets back the very causes she claims to champion.
But yes, it helps that she's white, straight in from Iowa, in a league that has faced marketing challenges throughout the history over the last 3 decades that it's been in existence. It's faced marketing challenges because of the things that you mentioned, because 70% of the players are Black women, because a third of them identify as LGBTQ+. Yes, it has faced challenges.
And what makes the timing of this mess even more jaw-droppingly tone-deaf is everything else happening around the WNBA right now. This league is navigating real, complex cultural flashpoints. We've had elbows flying, tension boiling over, and yes, actual questionable moments from players who crossed real lines. And yet, Hill decides this is the hill to die on. A minor, "I'm not scared of you" between two players with competitive fire?
How is hatred all made up when you got fans yelling, "You're in Atlanta," all in her face, bro? Like, Atlanta's supposed to be the place where they just target Caitlin Clark. She was doing nothing, bro. She was dribbling. She's pressing her, hacking her the whole way. They hacked Caitlin the whole damn game, bro. So Jemele Hill has a knack for being out of touch with obvious, but she may have outdone herself a bit with this WNBA analyst.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is over here giving a masterclass in how to handle manufactured chaos. She hasn't tweeted, posted, or clapped back. She hasn't subtweeted Jemele or thrown any shade. She's just laced up, dropped dimes, and gone about her business like a true pro. While Hill is online, setting fire to her credibility, Clark is doing the thing that matters most, bawling out and letting the scoreboard handle her rebuttals. That's how professionals handle noise. They ignore it and keep stacking wins. What's really damaging about Hill's nonsense isn't just the embarrassment it brings to her. It's the damage it does to the broader dialogue about race in sports. When someone with a platform like hers cries racism over something this empty, it hands actual racists a golden gift: skepticism. It waters down legitimate concerns. It gives the worst people the ability to say, see? They call everything racist. And that's not a hypothetical. That's happening in real time. Just scroll through the replies to Hill's posts. The people celebrating her blunder aren't allies. They're opportunists using her fumble to dismiss real issues.
It's just been an uphill battle for Caitlin Clark and these damn WNBA ladies, bro. I just gotta be honest, man. So this is a tweet here. So one person said, here we go with the WNBA players going after Caitlin Clark again. Her response, I'm not scared of you. Then Jemele Hill retweeted this. Y'all need to stop this. It's probably odds in the league now, but feels like this is weekly thing that the league never had to deal with before. Or maybe it did, but nobody noticed it. But Caitlin Clark every moment goes viral on every platform because she's the star of the damn league.
Even Hill's usual defenders are staying real quiet on this one. And who can blame them? This isn't a gray area. It's a full-color disaster. The footage is clear. The intent is obvious. The accusation is nonsense. People with eyes, ears, and a functioning brain are watching this train wreck unfold and realizing Hill isn't raising awareness. She's just raising eyebrows. The WNBA fans are especially unforgiving here, and rightfully so. These are the folks watching every minute, every game, every replay. They know who's being targeted. They've seen the hard fouls, the shoulder checks, the strategic trash talk aimed directly at Clark week after week. And they know what this is. They can tell when someone's being harassed and when someone's defending themselves. That's why Hill's take landed like a brick in a kiddie pool. No splash, just mess.
She stated, we need to stop with this idea that Caitlin Clark is specifically attacked. Think she would find this extra insulting. A lot of this is just competition. Y'all don't do this with the men, like ever. Bro, Caitlin Clark has been targeted. Caitlin Clark has been targeted every game, bro. The man ain't been targeted how Caitlin is. Nobody in the NBA is being targeted the way Caitlin Clark is when it comes to this W situation.
What's truly pathetic is how Hill's entire framing of this situation is backward. She's propping up the aggressor while demonizing the target. She's telling athletes that standing up to intimidation makes you problematic. Imagine telling young girls in sports that standing your ground makes you the villain. That's the messaging here. And if that doesn't make your blood boil, check your pulse. The long-term consequences of this will be more than just a bad news cycle. Sports fans don't forget. Once a media figure gets labeled as disingenuous or agenda-driven, that stain sticks. Jemele Hill didn't just miss the mark. She lit her platform on fire and handed out marshmallows. The social media ratio, the comment section chaos, the media columnists dunking on her, every pixel of backlash is proof that she's lost the plot.
As we get through the season and watch, it's time and time again, these ladies attack Caitlin Clark. There's a clear agenda against her.
And let's not ignore how low Hill is willing to go to maintain this narrative. She's not just clinging to the bad take, she's doubling and tripling down, attacking her critics and insisting they don't get the context. Jemele, the only context needed here is a slow-mo replay and common sense. The facts don't support your claim. The footage doesn't back you up. And the fans? They've left the building. Now here's where this all gets dangerous. When you weaponize race for clout, you're not just wrong, you're harmful. Caitlin Clark has done nothing but compete at the highest level and handle herself with class. And yet, here she is, dragged into a firestorm because someone can't let go of a false narrative. Hill's accusations are doing the exact opposite of what she claims to stand for. They're fueling division and diluting real conversations that deserve the spotlight. So let's call it what it is. Caitlin Clark stood up to a trash-talking defender and got called racist for it. Jemele Hill twisted reality, and now she's the one taking the L. She's not exposing racism, she's exposing herself. And the internet is doing the rest. If you stand with Caitlin, comment, I stand with CC down below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.